to was give people value, not hook them on harmful binge watching. We are starting this bulletin with some breaking news. FedEx has filed a lawsuit against the US government seeking a full refund for tariffs imposed during the Trump administration. The US Supreme Court ruled last week that these tariffs were illegal as Trump overstepped his authorities. This marks the first major effort by a company to reclaim a share of $175 billion in levies. While the court did not address refunds, FedEx is pressing ahead, citing its right as an importer. Other companies are expected to follow suit in seeking reimbursements. We're now being joined by Matthew Vadum, who's an American journalist, joining us from Washington, D.C. Thank you, Matthew, for joining us here today for this breaking news as well.
Sure.
How might this potential for billions of dollars, $175 billion in tariff refunds, not just for FedEx, but for other companies that have paid for duties, impact US fiscal policy and future trade enforcement?
Well, I think that it's going to, it's going to make companies more wary of the Trump administration's approach to tariffs, since, they won't know for sure if a tariff is going to hold up in court when challenged. So, they may, be skeptical of the tariff levying process. This new lawsuit by FedEx isn't the first lawsuit. There have been many others filed, but it's the first major lawsuit by a major U.S. company since the Supreme Court struck down the IEEPA, the International Emergency Economic Powers Act tariffs on Friday of last week. Other companies before that, such as Revlon, the cosmetics company, and Toyota, the car maker, and Costco Wholesale, the big box, grocery store, filed late last year for refunds because they were afraid that the statute of limitations was going to pass, which would prevent them from seeking tariff refunds if they waited until the Supreme Court adjudicated the matter. So, this is going to make, companies more, wary. They're still going to have to collect, they're still going to have to pay the tariffs, but they're going to, in the back of their minds, they're going to be thinking, are we going to get this money back? And in many cases, they are, although it is an arduous process. It is not easy for them to recover their money. They'll get it back eventually, but it could take years of litigation for them to actually recover the tariffs that they paid to the United States under the IEEPA tariffs that were struck down by the Supreme Court.
And what role should Congress play now through legislation or oversight in determining how refunds should be distributed, or, for example, prioritizing small businesses or consumer relief versus leaving it to the courts?
I very much doubt that Congress will play a role in how the refunds are distributed. This is a matter, I think it's well understood that for companies to get the money back, they have to sue in the courts, and then the courts are going to handle it. I very much doubt that Congress would get involved in distributing the tariff refunds. That doesn't make a lot of sense. This was, the executive branch acted badly, and so the companies are going to the judicial branch to get compensation for the tariffs that were wrongly paid out. And I think it's probably going to end there.
But please don't go too far, as we will be joining back with you very shortly. Thank you.
All right.
And for your top story this hour, President Trump has denied reports of